All right, I need to invite Joel.
Joel.
Andy, hello.
Hey. All right. We're both in our vehicles because this is about the
We are. This is the mobile studio when we've got
right.
rowdy kids
My
inside doing their kid things.
my kids aren't really even rowdy. It's just I got some at youth group, but Julie's sick today, and so
Oh, yeah,
yeah, so we had to yeah. So we're out in the the literal mobile studio,
yeah. Just to be
but
clear, though, we're not driving. We're not
no,
driving. We're sitting parked.
no.
So
But so we wanted to go live a little bit today because Joel didn't get a chance to be with us in studio for the last episode, the one that we just released with Nate and Brittany Steiner. And so,
yeah, and full disclosure, Andy, because I know the fans demand to know. I know they demand to know. Um, I was up in Grand Rapids at a baseball game with my whole family. It was awesome. It was a good time. And normally, because of scheduling stuff, Nate and Brittany needed to record earlier in the day, and Jackie, God bless her, was like, "Hey, let's do this thing." And I was like, "Oh, you were anticipating that we were recording later, like we normally do on Sundays, but it had to be early." So you know what? But Andy, here's the deal, and I hope everybody knows this. Uh, you just really excelled, and the interview was super great. And
well, and I
and
was
you
pushing all
did
the
admit to
buttons.
me, and I get it. We always talk about the spaceship that you're flying during a recording session. When you are the when sometimes I feel like when I'm in on the interview, I'm basically just buying time for Andy to do the next thing he has to do in the recording before he so to give him a moment
True.
where he doesn't have to speak so that he can punch buttons and whatever. So he was manning that whole thing. It was amazing, and no one died.
No
So
one died. But
congratulations.
but I wanted to come on a little bit here with you on Instagram because we wanted to chat a little bit. Just since you didn't get a chance to be there in the studio with us, so we wanted to chat and just have a little bit of a conversation. I wanted to catch up with you, and also wanted to. I think I have. Oh, Tyler Hartford is requesting to join.
Oh, come
Should we
on,
bring him in?
come on, tie
All right,
tie.
all right, we'll bring him in.
Oh,
Maybe.
I love this is good. I love this. This is great.
This
Oh,
is
there he is. He's in his car too. Look at that.
Tyler.
Oh, Tyler.
I just had to join you. I got my
Oh,
Please tell
windows
me.
open.
Please,
oh,
I was
it's
gonna.
raining.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, please tell me that you're at home and you literally ran out to your car to join us.
No, Andy knows I went out to get rainbow balloons
Oh boy.
on this. You can guess whose birthday it is if I have to. So,
Well, I was assuming it was yours, but apparently I'm wrong. So I know it's not yours. I know it's not yours. Okay. Oh, that's funny. Yes.
back
Okay.
on
So
track.
Andy. So yes. So uh, so this will be fun because
Let's
Tyler's just right
point.
there, and
Yeah, wherever
and
he's at.
so you yeah, wherever I'm pointing. Okay. So what do you want to ask? What are we going to talk about? What do you want to ask? And
Well,
let me just say, and I was going to say this. I had this conversation with you, Andy, just before. I think Nate and Brittany, hands down, and I mean this with all respect to our other guests, as a couple coming on our show, they were naturals,
oh
absolute
yeah.
naturals. I just felt like I could listen to them. And Nate and Brittany, here's the
Well,
thing. I don't want to give you any crazy ideas, but I think they could launch their own show. I really do,
yeah,
and they could join. They could join the Dudes and Dads Media Network. Is what they could do.
yeah, true.
We'll be happy. Just put it under an umbrella. I'll put my stamp of approval on it for sure. So
Okay,
awesome
so
interview. Yep,
you had a chance to listen to the show.
I did.
What were your thoughts? Because I didn't get a
Okay.
chance to ask you in studio. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Okay. So here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. I get when they mention, like, man, some people have a hard time wrapping their brain around that kind of schedule, right? The 7
Yeah.
on, 7 off, 7 on, 7 off. And I get that. I get that for sure. But I think to myself, and this is what I wonder, Andy, with you too, if you think about it, could I do 7 on if I knew my 7 off with my family could be that intentional?
Right. And I think that's one of the things that surprised me the most, because I went into the interview thinking, man, that's going to be tough being away for 7 days. I hate it even when I'm away from my family for 2
Right.
days or 3 days.
Right. Yep.
And every
Yep.
once in a while. But yeah, I think that because of the fact that it's every 7 days that Nate is home and every 7 days that Nate is gone, I think is a lot easier for their family. And again, it's like Brittany said, every 7 days he has a vacation.
Yeah.
Really. And so, well, the girls still have to do their stuff at school. Brittany gets to spend time with Nate. And in fact, I saw them at Martin's the other day. I walked in and they were walking in front of me and doing a date on, Martin's date.
I love a good grocery date.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and we both know this about them. I mean, they are, they're two people. I respect them deeply. I think, man, great parents. I know, as far as the married couple's concerned, I mean, I can see their love for each other is very, very evident. Their commitment to each other is very, very evident. I just love seeing that they're making it work, in something that's probably not a ton of people can relate to. I mean, we all, because I'm with you, like when I'm on the road for work, for a few days, whatever, I start feeling like there's a major disturbance in the force. Like
Mhm.
Day 2, like after it's been like a full 24 hours without like connection with my family, like it's a struggle. I don't feel quite right. And it's so weird to say that, because in my head, I know I'm telling myself all the time, like, if I could just get 48 hours away from this whirlwind of family and whatever, oh, it would be so. And it's like, quite honestly, before 48 hours ever hits, I'm like, yeah, not as great as I put up in my mind. But what really I think impressed me, the schedule thing is weird, but what really impressed me and what really got me thinking was just the commitment. And again, I don't know what. Yeah,
Nate and Brittany just joined.
Nate and Brittany joined. Oh, fantastic! Good. Okay, so now I can really talk nice about them. And hi, Nate and Brittany. So here's the deal.
We're Nate and Brittany. We're talking about the episode since Joel didn't get a chance to be in studio with us. We kind of wanted to just go and chat a little bit about it. So
yeah.
If you have any input, request to join.
And by the way, Andy, all these good friends that are joining us, it's so good to know that people actually pay attention, mildly pay attention to our conversation. So here's what I would say. I guess maybe the question that I had, something that I wondered about, like, this is Nate's career, like, ongoing. Yeah. I don't know what further. I don't understand the corporate jet pilot echelon of like how one progresses or what that looks like. But like I'm guessing from what I've understood, like this is the long-term vision for their family. I guess one of the things I wondered about was, do they see this? Do they see themselves having the same challenges as far as time and things like that away and like raising kids and things as the girls get older? That's one thing I would wonder about, if that dynamic changes at all. In some ways, and I'll see what you think, Andy. In some ways, when I'm gone, or when you're traveling for work or whatever, when the kids are getting older, some of the logistics of things work better now than they used to.
Sure. Yeah. And some are different. I mean, some are different. Easy, yeah.
So I wonder about that, like long term, like do they see it as a sustainable thing? I wonder. And again, we can't all see in the future and all of that. That was a question I had. And then additionally, So this is something you didn't ask, and it was something. If I was traveling and doing stuff, I wanted to put in the show notes to have the question asked. So this is a little bit off the beaten path, but because you asked about them connecting as a married couple and
Yes.
and things like that. I would have to imagine like there has to be a significant degree of trust between the two of them. Like that's like a real thing, right?
Mhm.
Of Nate traveling that much, him being that away and kind of offline for good
Sure.
portions in the midst of them connecting. So I wonder, I just was curious, like about like the relational, like building into their relational trust as he's away, and kind of maybe, I don't know, what you'd like some disciplines or safeguards or things that he's put into practice, because I know that he is a man of character and a man of intentionality, and I know they take their relationship seriously, and so that would be something that I would be interested. What we're saying here, Andy, is there's episode number 2 with them is definitely
2. Yeah.
I think that's a definite thing. But yeah, those were the two big things that I wondered about, and yeah, I really am impressed though, and it was challenging to me to be like, because even okay, what do you think about this, Andy? Even if you didn't have 7 days off, we have, most of us at least have one day, hopefully, if not 2. And could we bring the kind of intentionality that I hear from Nate and Brittany in that 7 days
into a shorter
period of time,
sure.
to say, like, how does that translate? Because I think it translates to a certain degree. It maybe sounds a little bit easier because, he's got 7 days. So of course in 7 days he can get good intentionality in there when he's with his family, and when they're together. But like, and again, it's another question that we could ask him, like, what of your 7 days do you feel like you could translate into 1 day or 2 days into how you go about doing things? Because I think it's a general principle. It's not just specific to his schedule, or like the principle of what he's doing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he's being real intentional, and that's what I picked up in the conversation, is that it is a real intentionality of time spent with the family when he's home, and making those things special, and the special dates as far as birthdays. And in fact, he had mentioned that he's missing Brittany's birthday this week because he's gone, but there's still intentionality of being intentional about it. Intentionality about being intentional, but there's an intentionality about what you do when you're home and how you make those times feel special, even if they're not necessarily the date of the event. Like they're not on the birthday or on the graduation, but you still have those times that you make it special.
Yeah, I think for all of us who feel like we could use another few hours in the day, or another day in the week to to have those intentional times. I'm in the midst of right now planning on a teaching that I'm doing, but also just in reading, and this is a little bit of it's a tie-in, a little bit of a segue to, because we always want to recommend books when we're reading good books. So John Mark Comer, I've recommended his Live No Lies book. Prior to that, he wrote a book entitled The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, and which is a quote from none other than Dallas Willard, which, if any of you are Willard fans, he's gone to be with the Lord a few years ago, but worth your time. But having this kind of conversation around being unhurried. I love what Nate said. Like, he pointed out, like, his work phone, it goes ghost. Like, yeah, it's just done when he's home.
And I've tried that sometimes with myself, although mine isn't my work phone is it's a work phone, but it's also my personal phone.
Yeah.
But
That's
even then, I try.
That's how they get you.
Right. But at the same time, though, I've done that intentionally, and even it was, I think last week, I just set it down and walked away. Like didn't have it on me, and it felt really strange, but it felt really good to be able to be away from that and not have those distractions. You know, because I find myself like sitting down and like, oh, I'm bored, and I pick up the phone and I'm just looking and scrolling through Instagram, and there's no reason to do that. And it was kind of weird because on one hand, it felt really good not to have that thing to go to and being present in the time. But on the other hand, it was like I felt like I was missing something because it wasn't there.
Yes. Okay, Andy. There's a very special moment here because my long lost Aunt Marlene is joined us. Hi, Aunt Marlene. Here's the trick. Aunt Marlene is not actually my aunt, but she's so close and so dear. It's been forever since I've seen her. So I'm just saying hi and thank you for joining us. Andy, by the way, I know the people that are listening to us, it just warms my heart. Never ceases to amaze me though, because I'm like apparently we're breaking into other markets. Not because a lot of ladies on here, which is wonderful.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when Dudes and Dads podcast goes live with Joel, it like sends all of your followers that you have a notification that you're going live. So
it's a cornucopia of friends and recent and long lost. So that's awesome. Andy, here's what I know. That this is what I heard from Nate and Brittany in one way or the other.
And those of you who have just joined us, we are talking about the latest episode of the Dudes and Dads podcast, dudesanddatspodcast.com. You can find that. It's with Nate and Brittany Steiner. Nate is he's a pilot, and so he's gone for 7 days, and then he comes back home for 7 days, and then he's gone for 7 days. And so we were talking about how parenting works and how that works for their family.
Yeah, good summary, Andy. Gosh, such a producer, so good. I think the intentionality piece is, and this, by the way, this translates to any one of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, talking about raising kids or relationships, but to make the most of what we have doesn't have to be rocket science. Doesn't have to be overly complicated. But I think it's really, really amazing if we commit to the small things and live in a rhythm of small commitments, that really develops some momentum and develops some character within us and really helps forge values, I think. And it's not, I don't know. I was very inspired by the conversation and challenged. Oh, challenged. Andy, we do this thing where we invite other people that we think that are good, our friends, and that we love and that we're inspired by. We invite them onto the show. We talk with them, and I just feel guilty that we get so much out of it. That we have a platform for so many great people to speak just and again, they're not coming and preaching to us, they're sharing their life, and that's a sacred stewardship that we have, and so I'm really grateful for it. And I wonder, we should ask people, this thing that you and I are doing right now is kind of a cool idea. Maybe we could do more. Maybe it would be helpful to do more of this. I don't know.
And we could even do some extra stuff. I think it'd be great to do it with guests. So bring guests on after the episode is released, to chat with them a little bit and see how, maybe there's some extra questions that we've had like this. We've come up with extra questions now that the episode is released. So
super cool. Well, Andy, anything else that you wanna say, reflect on, think about?
Just that you can get your own Dudes and Dads merchandise.
Come on.
DudesandDadsPodcast.com/store.
By the way, this reminds me, this is a little bit of housekeeping business stuff, whatever. Just a little teaser. We are working on some updated branding things for the show. I'm gonna finally fill that form out, Andy. Get that taken. So that will mean updated merch in the future too. And nothing says I love you like getting your husband or wife or brother, cousin, or previously estranged nephew, a Dudes and Dads,
Merchandise. Yeah.
yeah, all that good stuff. We should, yeah, we got to order. And the new, I'm excited about the new Dudes and Dads mugs because we caught a little shade from a previous guest
Yes.
about, and again, not your fault. I'm not casting.
No, it's because so what happened was Brent Miller saw that we had.
You named him.
I named him.
Okay.
Saw that Nate and Brittany signed the coffee cup and was like, "What the heck? I didn't get to do it." Well, Brent, you were in season 3, and we didn't actually do anything special like that for season 3 because that was the COVID years. So
may they rest in peace.
Right. So we didn't do anything for those times. So
okay.
Season 1 and 2, we signed a football, 2 separate footballs. Season 3, we didn't do anything. Season 4, we're having people sign the coffee cup. So Brent, come on back on the show.
Come back on. You'll sign a coffee cup. We might even give him a coffee cup because we should do that. Start getting a coffee cup.
All right.
Nothing. Your morning brew will never taste better than a little bit of extra something from a Dudes and Dads coffee mug.
Yeah.
Trademark 2022. Okay.
All right. Joel, it's been great hanging out with you.
Yeah.
It's been great. So
good to see you, man. We're gonna get back in the studio. We've got some other. I'm about ready, Andy. I'm about ready. We won't put it out in the public, but we'll just say I'm about ready to send an email to a we'll call him a semi-high profile desired guest.
All right.
Just gonna beg and plead. So we're trying to line up some really great guests here in the future, and so love for you guys to stay tuned. Thanks for your support. Appreciate you watching whatever this was in our mobile
studio,
live studios. Yes, awesome.
All right, man. Grace and peace.
Grace and peace. See ya.